Good afternoon, guys. I'd like to just say hello and welcome to part 3. What can we do to remove heavy metal, chemicals and plastics from our body? I'd like to just start off with an illustration. Obviously, we know that cars need an oil change and the oil filter replaced usually every 6 months, sometimes a year. But a lot of people don't know that the same thing is needed in our human bodies. Some people, due to not knowing and lack of knowledge, have never changed the oil or the oil filter in their cars. I did that myself for 50 years. I didn't know. I've met individuals who are in their 70s and 80s who have never done an oil change. Why do we need an oil change? Well, like your car, if you don't change the oil and oil filter, the car's not going to go well. You can keep going for a long period of time and see how far you can push it, but it's just going to get full of clugginess, it's going to get thick, the car's going to start vibrating, making clanging noises, and eventually it's going to stop. So this is why I recommend that we do detoxes. Unfortunately, heavy metals especially, but the chemicals of today also, and plastics, don't just come out of our body willingly. Good food and good water are not enough. You have to use something to pull them out. So where do we start? What dosages? What products? How many times a year? Because we live in Australia and most countries around the world are high in heavy metals, pesticides and chemicals from what I've explained due to our food and environment, except for a few who didn't accept pesticides and GMO food and kept the environment very, very clean. We need to detoxify it, like it or not, continually. And some people might go, because the word detox, it kind of sounds like it's extreme. I'm not doing a detox all the time, this is ridiculous. But it's not ridiculous, it's just because we've never been brought up understanding what we know now, but also in the very, very early days, as the environment wasn't so toxic, you didn't need to do it. So it wasn't a normal part of families and human anatomy. But these days, we've just reached levels we've never seen before. You can go and get a heavy metal tests, which they use hair analysis. And they also check for your minerals to see where your minerals are sitting at. Most naturopaths and online, you can just send away a hair sample or get it sent. They'll give you a report. You'll need someone to help you read them. That's the most accurate, because bloods aren't that accurate. Because heavy metals and chemicals and plastics, they bind themselves to your actual organs, to the insides of your flesh, to around the cells and inside your cells, and they cling on. And you need a fair bit, but not impossible, to just wash them off. So where do we start? We've got a big cup, it might be 20, you might be 20, I'm 50, some people might be 80, you might be 40. You've never emptied that cup. You've never done an oil change. So what do? I would recommend, so you're not overwhelmed, because I did this my way at the first time around, and I started getting the shovel, let's say, in there, and I started shoveling out quite hard, quite rapid. The only issue with that is because these things are really nasty, yes, they've got to come out, but they make you feel really yucky. Not to the point you're going to be bedridden, but we've all got lives, we've all got things to do, we've got partners, we might have children, and so forth, and responsibilities and work, and the last thing you need is, I'm just feeling so yucky that I can't operate. So I don't suggest it. I always suggest detoxing low, slowly, start emptying that cup. then maybe move it up to a medium. And then every 3 months, for a month period, give it a heavy hitter. So we're just going to start, you know, like we're going through the cup, there's a big chunk, boom, we're going to throw it out, keep going, boom, throw it out until the cup's empty. So I recommend you do it all year round. I would start with something easy as chlorella. Chlorella comes from nature. It has great detoxifying effects of heavy metal and chemicals. On the scale of what it is, it would be a low hitter. I would say a 4 out of 10, but at least your body's not going to be overwhelmed. I recommend a company that I've used before, seen great reports, seen all their scientific studies. It works well with children, with adults, with elderly. Children also do need it, but I'll get into that in a sec. Children, I say from 10 years and under, would have 3 at night. They're tiny little chewables. You can chew it or drink it with water if you don't want to chew it. The only downside of chewing, I think it's very good for your microbiome in your mouth, but it kind of leaves like a green tinge around your lips. So if you don't want that, you just swallow them. Doesn't harm you. Women take 5, men take 10 due to composition. Do that every night if you can for all year round. You have it at night time before bed, so then while you're asleep it can help in the detoxifying process. And then I would switch to also, if you can combine it, to a medium hitter. And a medium hitter would be something like, I'll give you the name, it's called Body Bio PC Liposomal Phospholipid Complex. Now I'm going to put all this in the show notes. You'll have the names, the companies and the prices and the websites where to get this from. So phospholipid is something that your cells use in communication to each other. Great for any age, from children whose brains are developing to middle age to elderly who, due to environment, due to toxicity, their cells aren't communicating as much as they should. But it helps in communication, which is great. We need all the communication we can get. So then you can speak clearer, you can think clearer and so forth. But it's great because this product comes in liquid form, which is like a gel, or in capsule if you don't want to spoon out a gel. You have it in the morning because it's going to help your cells communicate, but it's getting rid of heavy metals, chemicals, but also plastics. And plastics are very difficult, and only a few products can get those tricky little things out, because we never had plastics until, you know, the last 2 decades. And unfortunately, it's in our bodies, it's in our sea, it's everywhere due to us bringing it in plastic containers, everything, plastic bags. We've unfortunately swamped this poor earth. So this is what I would recommend as a medium hitter, and I would combine the two together. You take one at night, swallow them, chew them, the other one in the morning, first in capsules or in a gel. And over time, you will see a change in yourself, but even in your children. Let's just say your children are just a little bit off. They're having meltdowns, they can't control their emotions and so forth. And this is, and I'll touch on this in another episode for children, but it's due to the high toxicity. And I also put it in the show notes. There was a documentary made in 2004 called The 10 Americans. And the 10 Americans worked with the Red Blood Cross. And they got from 10 families, they choose different families who, husband and wife was about to have a child. And on the day the baby was born, they, with permission, got blood taken out of that baby, and they tested the baby on the first day it was here on Earth. What's its toxicity levels in heavy metal, chemicals and plastics? And that was 2004, and it was anywhere between 50 up to 200 combined heavy metal, chemicals and plastics on day one. Now, unfortunately, they tried to go and pass a Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights was rejected to clamp down so these companies can't do what they're doing and be regulated more. And unfortunately, since then, 1,000 chemicals per year worldwide has been added to the list, and that was 2004. Now we're 2025. So that's a lot of thousands of chemicals, each one doing its own little bit, adding more to your cup from every angle, and that's why our cups are just overflowing. So that's why I recommend children have it. The mother's womb and the placenta doesn't screen out the toxins, and because for the last easy 2 decades, even 3 decades with ease, a lot of women are overburdened with their own toxicity levels, and then when they have a baby, the toxicity levels get passed to the newborn, and in 9 months it's pulling in all those things. That's why through the blood tests that they showed and through the studies, it showed that these newborns had astronomical amounts in them already at day 1. So that's why I recommend please do your children and use the low to medium hitter and make it a daily part of their life. You will see them happier in the long run. They'll think clearer and their emotions won't be unstable. So please do this for yourself and for your children. And then every 3 months I will use a heavy hitter. There are many great heavy hitters around. There's a company called Global Healing. It's in the States. The person who founded it is Dr. Group. He is an incredible individual. You can look him up and even have a look at his podcast and what he talks about. Beautiful person who's created incredible products for mankind, and he's worked with other doctors who are leading in their fields to bring in another product here and there as time goes on to help our bodies. How do I know these products work? I've used them on myself, and this is where I'm getting to the next step. So as we're detoxifying, and yes, we're obviously eating good food and drinking at least 3 litres of water a day to get rid of it. These things are going to be dislodged, so then you're going to need some kind of chemical binder. This is also included on the show notes. So as it's released, it's going to bind it and grab it and get ready to throw it out of the body, either through sweat, urine, or go to the toilet, poo. So this is why I would recommend, take something to clean out your stomach naturally. And Global Healing has a product called Global Healing Oxy Powder. The tablet form, it's actually creating bubbles in your stomach that last up to 24 hours that are breaking away anything that's been there for a long time, but dislodging it and getting it rid of your body. So you want to do this because things can sit in your stomach, and you don't want them just sitting in your stomach and then they rebind themselves to the organs, especially your intestines, and then work their way back. So we want to get something to flush it out of the stomach. It's very easy. You take them at night, you take six capsules. The next day, you'll go like a trooper on average for like 3 or 4 times in that day, beautifully. You don't have it 2 to 3 times a week. You don't have it every day, but it'll just get rid of the stuff that's in your stomach because it will go to the stomach. Then the next thing, a liver cleanser. I put it in the show notes. Use some form of liver cleanser as your body's getting rid of these things and going through the process. It's obviously going to push a lot through the liver, and we don't want the liver being overburdened. Liver cleansers are really easy. They usually come in a drink form. You can get it in liquid form that I take under the tongue, and this is a company, but also in oral, in a powder form, which is great. You get different flavors. You put it in your water in the morning, first thing. So while all your stomach's getting ready to be activated, it has that first thing, and it's pushing everything through the liver and pushing it out. So we're getting rid of it from our flesh. We're getting rid of it from our stomach. We're getting rid of it from the liver, pushing it out. These are the things that you want to be doing so they're not stuck anywhere on the process and then going back in. How can we help those processes? Well, the oldest, and it's been there for thousands of years, the Chinese, the Italians, the Greeks, over Davic, the Indians use saunas of some sort. So if you can please use a sauna every day as part of your protocol, if you don't have the access or time, if you can get to a local health club, a gym, go at least 3 times a week. Start off 5 minutes, work your way up 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes to what you can tolerate, and if you can, then work your way eventually up to 20 to 30 minutes in a session. This is the oldest form and best form of really pushing everything out of your system through sweat. It works efficiently and greatly, but by using the products, we're going to speed up that process and help it to dump it clearer and more accurately, with more dumping happening each time. So what I recommend, please do the sauna. Check your saunas, ask the people there, what are other materials of the timber made in those saunas. These days, all saunas are pretty good, exception for a few companies that are still using treated wood. So if it's treated and then you're inside it and the heat's, it's going to pull the chemicals out of the treated wood and you're going to breathe them in. So that's why, just ask. Simple, but please do it. It works incredibly. And let's say, to empty the cup might take you a year, might take you 2. But with sauna, it will speed it up at least half, 50% quicker because of that process. And then I would recommend, and you look it up on online, or have a look at this book I'll put in the show notes called The Rain Barrel Effect by Stephen Cabral. He teaches about Ayurvedic, and I think that's how you say it, medicine, which has been around for thousands of years. They believe, obviously, in incredible things working with nature, and lymphatic drainage. So our whole body is composite, or has a composition of lymphatic drainage all over it. You have a look at the chart, you'll see different lymphatic channels running all different ways. He shows you in a beautiful way, done every morning. He recommends it in the morning. It takes probably about 5 minutes as you wake up to get that lymphatic drainage system prepared and ready to dump toxins. I'll go through it very quickly, but he shows it in more detail. Everything is working towards the heart, working from your feet up, working from your head to the heart, from your arms to the heart. This will help activate those lymphatic drainage systems. You can use a special brush that they recommend. That just gives some nice pressure, feels nice, but gets it activated. They reckon 7 to 10 times. And that will help greatly to detoxify. And also, if you can do this before you go and do a sauna, it is going to be like a synergistic effect, because everything's ready. Then the sauna's sweating it out and it's coming out those pores. Please do it. It's something simple, but also your health, your skin, your nails, your hair in time will look healthier than it's ever looked from something simple as that massage that helps the lymphatic system. So please use these things. I would also recommend that one of the easiest and simplest forms that a lot of people have forgotten about due to our modern world is something you might have heard of called earthing. So if you don't know what earthing is, but I'm sure most of you do, and there's nothing wrong if you don't know. As I spoke about in the beginning of my first talk, in the early days when everybody pretty much grew their own food and had their own livestock, they had the privilege of being connected to Mother Earth. They were in the gardens, they were doing things, they were on their knees, they were touching the soil with their hands. They weren't wearing shoes. And it is a literal biological part of us, which a lot of humans don't know. And you go, what do you mean it's a biological part of us? It literally is like, it's like your stomach. So imagine you all of a sudden just grab your stomach now and you throw it out and go, well, let's do it, buddy. They're like, I can't do it, the main mechanism's gone. So what earthing does, as our feet touch the ground, the earth, with its incredible structure of how it was created in union with us, pulls negative ions and inflammation straight out of your body continually out through your feet as soon as it touches it, including animals. There are scientific studies that show it, and there is another time in another place we'll go through earthing. So if you can do this daily, at least for 15 minutes, half an hour, on weekends increase it, just some grass somewhere. If you don't want to walk because you're tired, sit down on the ground with your bare feet, and just the more you're on contact with the ground, the better it's going to pull out that inflammation. It will speed up the process incredibly, but also you're going to feel much more grounded in time, and the results of earthing is something that has been pulled away from us due to modernisation, cars and shoes. The shoes stop us making contact with the ground. So I just put all this in to this talk. I hope it's insightful to you. I also would like to recommend, but it's in the show notes, something easy, something called NAC. It's an amino acid. It has great detoxifying effects, also of cleaning the liver. Please use it. It also helps your mitochondria, so you'll see great benefits from yourself and from your children. And also a little bit of glycine with it is going to help this detoxification, and you have it daily. I've put the ranges of how much to take per age, but just doing these simple things over time, you are going to feel like a brand new person in a year or two. Do your hair and mineral testing. Just go and get one done. They're not super expensive. I would say $150 to $250. They'll give you an analyzed report. Then you can see where you're sitting at, and then keep these things going, and then do another one in 6 months and see where you're sitting. But within a year or two, it's going to be a new person, because all that stuff that shouldn't be there, and it just plays chaos with your body. Your body can't communicate when it never understood how to deal with these things in the first place. That's why we're having so much trouble. You are going to be a new person. You just feel more refreshed. You go to sleep easier. You wake up easier. You're just more positive, and your energy levels pick up. So please put this in place. Thank you for listening to my talk. And as always, like to finish the talk, love everyone out there. I want everyone to be healthy. I want everyone to be wise. I want everyone to lead better lives. And I myself love all walks of life, and we all need each other, and everyone is a contribution to this planet and to our society. So I'll love you and leave you, and thank you for listening to this talk, and we'll listen to the next talk, which is going to be part 4, and this one's going to be quite charged. What happens, unfortunately, if you have cancer? What can be done, and what are incredible leading products these days that have incredible success rates in helping cancer to be removed and for your body to go back to health? So I'll leave you with this. Please keep an eye out. I'm having little segments of little podcasts in between the weekly ones. They go for 5 minutes. They're called Health Hacks. Talk to you again. Send my love. I'm Steel Poliziani. Bye for now.